Madison. Go pick you up. Can I pick you up? Come here. Yes. I can pick Madison up. She's not that heavy. She may look it, but she's not. Yes, her elbow's dirty, but she's also not as tall as me yet. Hi. Anywho, figured while I'm waiting for leftovers to warm up, figured I'd address something. How do I go about saying this? My last few videos, when I was 17 years old, I was in a halfway house after being tossed around between government agencies, DCFS, JJS, in and out of the Utah State Hospital for mental disorders. I think the first time I went there I was like 13. And by the time I aged out of the program and everything, I was forced onto disability because of what they supposedly diagnosed me with. And it's a list. I was diagnosed with, at the time it was called Asperger's. A couple years later it was high functioning autism. Now it's just autism. I was also diagnosed with anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar, and ADD, ADHD, along with intermittent explosive disorder. I'll say the intermittent explosive disorder has kind of gone away as I've gotten older, which is a good thing. I've only ended up in prison once. And once was enough for me. I've been struggling a lot lately with my depression, simply because I have no kind of support system in place. My family's put me $4,500 in debt, and anytime I try and get a job to try and pay off that debt, then something else always comes up. I'm not able to. I have Madison because she's the only thing that keeps me going, to be honest. Before you say, oh, you have enough money to get tattoos. No. My crap cousin did this one. It's not centered. In fact, I hate it. If I could skin my arm and get rid of it, I would. because I can't afford to get it covered. I can't afford to get laser removal for it. And even if I did, then it would scar. So I still wouldn't be rid of it. Not a day goes by, not a month that goes by, do I worry about having to put food on my table, about how I'm going to pay my bills. So yeah, I may be a bit negative, but these videos are the only thing keeping me sane. I've tried crowdfunding to help me get out of the debt, to help me gain a little bit more financial freedom. Nothing. Over these last few years, I've also been told that I have arthritis in both my knees, along with my right ankle. I have a hole in the rotator cuff of my left shoulder that no doctor wants to fix. Because of my age, I literally had a doctor tell me, "You're too young to be having these issues." I was also too young to have my stepfather trying to unalive me twice, because I was the only one who would stand between him and my mom, only for her to turn around and betray me. I was also too young to get hit by 3 cars and have no other choice but to stand up and walk. Now I'm suffering the consequences of it. I was also too young to see a lady flip a 4-wheeler and crack her head open like a freaking watermelon, and all my family can do is say, "Oh well, let's go home." But it happened. So yeah, I may be negative. I may be pessimistic. But not one good thing has happened in my life that hasn't been immediately followed by something worse. I've had to sell, I've said it 100 times by now. I sold my truck. My only ounce of freedom I had left, I had to sell it to pay my bills. Now I have nothing. I am trapped. I've had to cancel every doctor's appointment I've ever made because I cannot get to them. Where I live, there's no such thing as public transport. The only transport services available are for those with cancer who have to go up to Salt Lake City. And when people say that all I need to do is pray, turn to God, it pisses me off, because you don't know how much I've prayed. Every single day I pray. I keep a prayer in my heart, hoping. Maybe it's a fool's hope. Maybe it's an empty hope. But hoping something will change. Despite how much I fight. Despite how much I do. It's never enough. You don't know how many times this last week I've thought of ending it. Ending the pain. and even the struggle. People always say there's always a support system. I can't even get into therapy. At least not a decent therapist, with a decent therapist. Every 2 months for 30 minutes. That's what I get. That's what I get for therapy. 2 months. 2 months of suffering just for a 30-minute session. Only for the therapist not to do anything. I've tried everything. I've done self-help. I've done exercising. I've done it all. But just like some people are destined to go through life with a silver spoon and a gold plate, I'm destined to go through life with a plastic fork and my bare hands. That's why I'm so pessimistic. That's why it seems like I'm so negative all the time. It's because despite how hard I fight, how much I try to be better, how much I try to improve my situation, it's never enough.